Hey, it's Wednesday. Wow. And it's Rumor and Innuendo. I'm Dominic D'Angelo of adfreeshows.com, podcast Heat Wrestling. Man, I'm throwing myself off. Brassringmedia.com too. Check it out. I'm here with Mr. Robert Karpelis, W Creative _ish. Robert, how are you? Happy Wednesday. You know what that means.
Happy Wednesday. Yes, I beg him repeatedly to stop doing the hey, it's Wednesday to no avail.
Nope.
But here we are. Apologies that I had to miss yesterday. It was a somewhat urgent last-minute matter that I had to go jump to and tackle. Otherwise, I would like to have been here to talk all things Monday Night Raw with you all. I did. For those of you who are total effing dorks over at Working Stiff for the Patreon, did a something to sports entertainment with where I went pretty in depth on Monday Night Raw, but we'll say hi to the folks who are joining us here. Wrestling Old Head says, good day to all, and to all a good day. It's weird that, is it weird that I thought extensively about writing a jingle for this show? If it's good, would you guys use it? No charge. I'm not going to lie. I fully sing along to our stupid theme music.
Do you? What lyrics do you use?
Oh no, just the noises, just the do. Yeah, it happens. It's the only time I sing on anything on this show. Dre Owen says, "Hello, R&I. Who's ready for the Trick or Treat Tornado Tag match tonight?" No idea what he's talking about there. Well, you have the AEW Dynamite preview. Maybe there's a match I don't know about. Jeff Henninger says, "Hello, R&I. Now that Russo is involved with Juggalo Championship Wrestling, how long until we hear Juggle Bro?"
Juggle Bro. Right now.
First of all, it was weird that you did it in Taz voice. Second, that's exactly what I texted the Working Stiff group chat. If he's not referred to as the Juggle Bro, why are they even doing this?
Yeah,
Bro, they're clowns, but not like Doink. They sing.
Perfect.
I can't stand Russo. I love him. He's the best.
He's the greatest.
It's so weird. Like, he, for so long, was instrumental in crafting a lot of our teenage childhood years of wrestling fandom, that this was like the guy. Him and Ed Ferrara were the writing team under Vince that led to the Attitude Era, and the loss of that goodwill for him over years and years and years and years and years of behavior is such that it's just sort of, it's really funny. But then again, who would have thought at any point in time Bruce Pritchard, whom I love, would have been an actually beloved figure in wrestling?
Well, it's kind of weird too, Robert, because I mean, I was a WCW kid at that point in time. And so when Russo and Ferrara came over and they started doing their thing, I was like, are these really the writers that were doing everything that I was enjoying about the Attitude Era, like Steve Austin and everything? It made me just wonder about it because they weren't hitting, obviously, with WCW.
Well, they rely. The problem is that when you rely on your own instincts and you don't have a filtration system, you don't have an editor, you don't have a partner, you do tend to get sort of the worst impulses. You know, some of the best creative minds, and this is turning into a Mike Lawrence conversation, and that's fine. Some of the best creative minds, and I'm hearing myself through your laptop. Dynamite job there, Tom. Some of the best creative minds are the folks who brand themselves and then take credit for other people's work. So like what Walt Disney did for a number of years. Some people have levied the claim against Stan Lee, having done that for a number of years, that they create an aura of, this is my company, this is my brand. Vince McMahon did it for a number of years. You know, the number of stories that have come out, I think part of the popularity of Bruce's podcast was hearing who developed and came up with a lot of these, because nobody knew.
Mm-hmm.
And Russo was the first guy who was allowed to hold himself out as, you know, written by, essentially. And so he got all of the positive credit for creating the Attitude Era. And if you go back and watch those episodes of Raw, there's some good and there's some really, really bad.
Sure.
And you never know who is responsible for what. It's like the Lennon-McCartney dynamic there. And when Russo took over in WCW, it was unchecked id. And it felt like a guy who, he didn't like a certain type of wrestling. He liked his type of wrestling. And that was what he was going to give you. And he assumed that what he loved was what everybody loved. And the reality was that there was sort of a happy middle ground. He was very good about being able to say what WWF was doing at that point in time wasn't good. And it wasn't. There was a lot to really not like. But nobody could really speak truth to power and get in Vince's ear.
Sure.
Russo did, and it was like, hey, let's do something edgier, let's do something a little extreme, and basically just do what ECW is doing. And Vince is like, okay, let's go ahead and do that because his Vic Venom or whatever. Russo didn't have anything to lose. Vince wouldn't have listened to Heyman the same way. He wouldn't listen to Bischoff the same way, and ultimately never listened to a writer again the same way. He would
Right.
cherry pick certain ideas. It's why I always get so frustrated with Tony Khan, where you want him to listen to the voices of his better angels and say, hey, let's get together a committee of some of the brightest, smartest minds in wrestling and talk through it, and not the WCW committee booking that existed in the early 90s, where Jim Ross would always talk about, like with Jim Hurd, where a lot of these guys just wanted to get out on a Friday afternoon. They don't want to be there, and they're going to worry about booking themselves and their ideas and ignore everything else.
Right. Right.
Hunter is a totally diametrically opposed wrestling fan than Vince is. Hunter grew up an NWA guy. He's a guy who's like, give me a 20-minute Harley race match where there's 3 moves, and one of them is a constant ankle lock, and he's
Right.
gonna be happy. Give me the step over toe hold for 7 minutes, and that's my wrestling.
Yeah.
You don't get that with Hunter and Raw, but you get this sort of by committee show of the Hunter ideas versus what's great for marketing, what's great for Nick Khan, what's great for them to be able to hold out and present to the board. I think we saw that, at least in my opinion, with the new WrestleMania trailer.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. What did you think about? Obviously, we talked about the footsteps and what they could be. We speculated this and that, and I thought maybe it was Survivor Series. Here it's WrestleMania, and we get those featured characters we were talking about: CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar, Triple H, Paul Heyman. What'd you think of that trailer there, Robert?
I think the biggest issue that I have with it is, and this is stupid, and I'm owning this, within the world of wrestling and kayfabe. I'm getting the lag on your thing again.
I don't
That's
know. I'm
weird.
getting lagged too a little bit on my end, but
So strange. Within the world of wrestling and kayfabe, it's like, okay, but should Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman and CM Punk and Roman Reigns all be in the same room and not trying to kill each other?
right. I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing that was like, are any of these guys in a feud? I had to double check and make sure they have bad blood with one another because this kind of throws off that whole element of it all. But
Well, it's kind of the last that we saw Paul for a while was when he got attacked by Roman.
right, true.
So it's like it's silly, it's dumb. I'm also always worried because I was there during the time when there was the Booker T Batista issue that happened at the SummerSlam commercial film. So filming. So anytime you're putting wrestlers in the same spot at the same time, it's like, boy, I hope this works out okay.
Right. Hey, to double back real quick, when you were on the writing team at WWE and stuff like that, was there somebody that was really good at keeping kind of things in check and like, holding some people back that had some creative minds and stuff and that were kind of going off the rails a little bit? Was there somebody that stands out?
In terms of holding people back,
No, in terms of harnessing them and kind of channeling them in the right direction, so to speak, I guess. When it comes to creative ideas.
no, I think we were. It was sort of a strange environment where there were some folks who were wildly creative and some folks who were kind of just huge pains in the ass. And unfortunately, one of those individuals held the head writing spot for one of the brands, and the rest of us had to try to work around him in order to get good things on TV. But Cream eventually rises to the top. It's why I was thrilled that, when Alex Greenfield took over as head writer of SmackDown,
Yeah,
because Greeny was a dude who was not afraid to get in Vince's face and argue with him.
that's
Sometimes
awesome.
it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. Hey, Kevin Kellum making
Yeah.
a pop in here. He said they have had enough bad blood recently for Robert's point about the WrestleMania 42 commercial. It certainly got people talking no matter what. It did, but it led people thinking that this was going to be some sort of big dramatic return.
Hmm.
And Jeff Henninger says clearly there was a no physicality clause, and the winner of the poker game would win $500,000
Of Tony Khan's money.
of Tony Khan. Look, let's all spend Tony Khan's money. That should be a new show. Like the heck with win Ben Stein's money. It's spend Tony Khan's money.
Get Raven
Because
in there.
where is Raven's got his documentary.
He does have his
Have you seen the documentary?
I have not. No, I have not.
Justin Barrasso, friend of the show, saw the documentary. He said it was really good. So
Yeah.
oh,
Uh-oh, Marty.
Marty's getting annoyed.
Uh-oh, he's feeling it.
Yeah, I'm
You
gonna
gotta
let him out of the old pen over there. So you keep talking. I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I do want to see the Raven documentary. I think that I did hear good things about it. I did see Sabu's, obviously, so that was great. But yeah, as far as this WrestleMania trailer, it created some buzz. But to Robert's point, how much contradictoriness do you have with it? Because people have these expectations when you see some footsteps going. You're thinking like, oh, a trailer, somebody's showing up. We're gonna get a good surprise here, and it's just your familiar faces and just a commercial. So it is kind of that letdown aspect of it all, where don't tease it. Maybe just release the commercial itself. And you then eliminate that concern of creating this false hope that wrestling fans are notorious for. And, this is a sport that is predetermined and creates that entertainment aspect. People get those unexpected expectations with regular sports in the first place. So if you do this on a wrestling element where you control the narrative, then you're creating your own problems for yourself. So I'm kind of with you on that too, Robert. Oh, you're muted.
Oh yeah, I realized I'm muted. I think one of the most interesting things about this commercial is this certainly felt like a litmus test. That this is the first time that they are putting Brock Lesnar out there in a sort of official WWE capacity. Yes, he popped up on WWE programming and obviously had prominent. There's that lag again. It's
Yeah,
annoying
it's
as all hell. But it's this situation of he's now going to be in these ads, and people who are not really plugged in, but vaguely know Brock or vaguely know Brock as part of the lawsuit, and are now going, huh? I guess he's there.
Yeah, that's the other thing I didn't really even consider. Yeah, that even further hammers home the point that he's probably in the clear when it comes to this Janelle Grant lawsuit situation, or at least WWE firmly believes he is. So,
Well, they certainly went all in on Brock Lesnar.
that is true. Hey, speaking of all in, there's another show that has a pay per view by that name. But tonight's Fright Night, Robert. Are you ready for some scares, some spooks and scares, and some Halloween candy? What's your favorite Halloween candy, Robert?
I was a Butterfinger guy for a long time, then they changed the formula, and it's not as good. It's not as
You know what?
crispy, as crunchy, as peanut buttery as it used to be.
I missed the Bart Simpson mascot sponsorship. That was a big thing for Butterfinger back in the day.
That was a huge thing. They sponsored the Who Shot Mr. Burns.
Oh my gosh!
But no, Butterfingers. I mean, their Twix is always a solid candy bar. We're doing the full size candy bar gimmick.
Oh, you're the house you got to go to then.
We've become the it's the easiest way to lure the children in.
That's it. That's it. Hey, well, will AEW lure the children in with this card tonight?
No,
guess what?
Because they don't cater to the audience. Well, now they're starting to with Bandito a little bit, but maybe a little too late. Wrestling Old Head says I was a fan of Skittles until they had to go and ban it.
Oh,
why were they banning Skittles? I don't know.
The dye in it, I think.
Were kids making Skittle Brew?
The red Skittles.
It's the Skittle Brew. It's the beer with Skittles in it.
Oh my god, I've never had that.
It was a Simpsons reference that when we went to go see the Simpsons with my buddies and I did that just to see what would happen.
How was it?
I'm still alive.
That's good. That's
I don't recommend it. It's kind of like watching an episode of The Simpsons after the 9th season. It's not a good idea.
I know this is off topic, but did you see the latest Treehouse of Horror?
No.
It's a little rough. It's a little rough.
Again, haven't watched Simpsons since season 9, 10, when it really started to get like this is not great.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Dynamite. Will this be great? Because
continuing the not great train.
They're hailing from Edinburgh, Texas. Woo-wee! At the Burt Ogden Arena. Who is Burt Ogden, Robert? Do you know?
Burt Ogden was a 1920s entrepreneur who was known for expanding the rail all the way to Austin, Texas.
Is that true?
Not even remotely true.
That sounded really true.
Burt Ogden, I'm looking him up.
I'm trying to. I can't find anything.
I love Burt Ogden owns an automotive dealership in Mission, Texas.
Oh, that's a letdown.
That is a huge. What happened to Burt Ogden? Burt Ogden was killed in an automobile accident.
Oh my god!
Wow. So the guy who owns the dealership was killed by a car.
My goodness.
They own 23 different locations that feature 24 brands, so the power of choice is yours when you visit Burt Ogden Auto Group.
Funny enough, today's episode is sponsored by the Burt Ogden Auto Group, everybody. So, holy crap! Wow, what a
So,
turn that!
by the way, this is what I love. He is one of the wealthiest, largest dealership owners. The number one dealership owner is ironically named Terry Taylor.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
So, the Red Rooster apparently is single-handedly dominating the car landscape. Jeff Henninger says kids love fish tanks, plastic bags, hypodermic needles, and lighting people on fire. I mean, they do. I just don't know they necessarily need it during a wrestling broadcast. But what a wrestling show we have for you tonight with our friends from All Elite Wrestling.
Oh my goodness, well, packed card tonight. You're gonna miss out if you don't tune in on the AEW World Title #1 contendership match. It's Samoa Joe versus Hook versus Bobby Lashley versus Ricochet. That's actually a really good match, Robert.
Wait, Hook?
Hook.
So I understand Samoa Joe.
Okay.
Was just a #1 contender, attacked Hangman Adam Page. Boy, it makes a lot of sense. I understand Bobby Lashley and Ricochet. They've been trading wins as duos. The hell, Hook?
He's the handsome-eyed devil or whatever. It makes sense because he's the devil and it's a Fright Night.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like I understand that there was a Samoa Joe Hook story at one point, but like Hook has been Eddie Kingston's Scrappy Doo on like the pre-shows and Collision. It feels weird that you're putting him as a #1 contender in a company that cares about wins and losses. What would have, by the way, if you're, and again, I always say, you don't just bury an idea, you give a different answer. Wouldn't it have made some sense to say, okay, we're doing this 4-way match. Last week on Dynamite, Jon Moxley lost to Kyle O'Reilly. Plug Kyle O'Reilly in there as the 4th, and maybe as he's coming down to the ring, oh no, here's Jon Moxley, and Jon Moxley's murdering him.
Well, hold your horses here, Robert, because guess what? We have Jon Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly tonight.
No, that was last week, Dom. They're not doing it.
It's happening again. It's happening again.
The rematch people have been clamoring for decades.
Decades, and you get it 2 weeks in a row, everybody. Jon Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly. I liked, Robert, maybe talked about it a little bit last week, was like, I kind of, liked the arc that Jon Moxley was taking. If you have Jon Moxley go and beat Kyle O'Reilly now, it's just, you're treading water again. It just, there's no reason to have, now I'll give it the benefit of doubt, maybe here and see if you do something with developing Moxley, Kyle O'Reilly gets a win or something, then sure, okay. But again, it just feels like wash, rinse, repeat. So
it is strange, and that the Hook thing. The strangest part about the Hook thing, and I like Hook. I don't think that since he's returned, he's really done much of anything. You have a huge stable with 750 members in it. You would think that Don Callis has, that Don Callis has enough sway that he would have been able to have gotten one of those 4 spots. And if he didn't, that the members of the Don Callis family would be complaining and saying, hey, how come one of us didn't get an opportunity in this fatal 4-way match?
Well, could you all, if I'm being devil's advocate, though, pun intended, Friday night,
you got to stop.
Couldn't you make a lot of argument against either Bobby Lashley and Ricochet being in this match too? Like, they've been trading wins and losses back and forth. So it's like, are they really the top contenders if you're going by your wins, losses, and everything to that effect?
No, but they're at least they're established big names. Like they're relatively main eventery. This kind of feels like this again, the story they probably should have told going into Wrestle Dream of doing a 4-way in some form or fashion to establish a #1 contender.
Sure.
But it's going to be a good match. Look, seeing Lashley and Joe tear it up is going to be fun. Ricochet in there is going to be fun. Hook's going to make the most of this opportunity. But it does strain a little bit of logic as to why we're getting what we're getting.
Who's more valuable in getting the #1 contendership for Hangman in particular? Would it be Lashley, Ricochet? Could you make an argument for Hook, or could you make an argument for Joe again?
I can make an argument for anybody, but the most well, this is taking place at the next pay-per-view, right?
I would imagine so. Yeah.
Yeah. So if it was not taking place in pay-per-view and it was taking place on TV, maybe there is a world where it's Hook, and
Hmm.
that's kind of interesting. And it's like, hey, Hook somehow squeaks out the win. Samoa Joe is mad, and Samoa Joe goes after Hook.
Sure.
Hey, that's kind of cool. But no, if this is a pay-per-view, then you got to get to the Joe Hangman of it all, because that's the next story. We've been saying for a while, it feels like Lashley should be the guy who's challenging for that world title or holding that world title. But if he's going for it now, it's a weird placeholder because you actually have a somewhat compelling story with what Joe did to Hangman.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I think you could put a pin in Lashley, even though,
You
yeah,
can't say that because then Moxley will literally
put a pin in.
put a pin.
Hey, the AEW Women's Tag Team Title Tournament is starting off. We have Queen Aminata and Jamie Hayter taking on Julia Hart and Sky Blue.
Yeah.
Mhm.
One of those teams seems to have a lot of momentum. The other one loses all the time. So I
Yeah.
wonder who's going to win.
I
And do we
wonder
know the
too.
rules of the tournament? Is it a single elimination? Are there points? Is there a chart?
I believe it's single elimination.
I want to see a damn chart, man. I want to see like points. I want there to be math.
Robert,
You
do
know
you
what I
really
love?
want to see a chart? Do you
You know
really
what I'm
want
all about.
to? We know what Tony likes, but I don't know about that. Hey, you do want the Don Callis family. Don't worry, Robert. You're getting the Don Callis Family Summit.
Okay, I like that because I think that it's going to be the let's make peace with Okada and Takeshita.
Hmm.
But I hope that someone in there at least addresses, if we didn't have all this infighting, one of us would have been in this match focusing on being the new world champion. But instead, we're busy here having to deal with all this childish bickering.
Sure. I wonder if they'll have hors d'oeuvres there while they have the Family Summit. Perhaps Halloween candy. We have an AEW.
I like how you're working harder to get Halloween over than Tony Khan is.
I really want to get. I love Halloween. I do.
Do you have a
Uh,
costume?
I do have a costume.
Will you be
Actually, I
wearing
have
a
one.
costume on Friday's show?
Yes. Are you?
I really walked into this.
Yeah. Now you got it, Robert.
Damn it.
It's you got to pick something out. I have mine planned. I'm good to
I
go.
mean, I do have a Halloween costume that I'll be wearing Friday evening.
Yeah. So do I. I have one as well.
Well, I have to go trick or treating with the kids. So, are you going to a fun Halloween party, Dom?
Yeah, a little shindiggity. Mm-hmm.
Can you never say shindiggity again on here?
Gonna cut a rug at a shindiggity. Yeah, I'll have a good time.
People need to stop inviting Dom to stuff.
I invite myself.
None of
Tag
that
Team
shocks
title.
me. This is why Patreons get posted late, guys.
This is exactly it. Tag team title number one contendership match, Robert. So another one number one contendership match. And hey, there's four things involved here, but these are tag teams. So it's the Young Bucks, it's FTR, it's Jurassic Express, and it's Jet Speed.
I love it. No notes. That's a solid 4-way match.
I'm actually excited for that one.
I think that's a big match, and it's just so strange that we're loading up this show with two significant number one contender matches.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's probably a good move though, considering you're trying to have some momentum heading into the end of the year and all this other elements going on. So
Yeah, but you're doing a Kyle O'Reilly match. Like, you're already printing money.
I'm all for it. Heck yeah, give me that rematch. We also have Orange Cassidy. He's teaming up with Darby Allin, Robert, and they're going up against the Death Riders. That would be Wheeler Yuta in the Dance Man Daniel Garcia.
What a thrill.
Mm-hmm. Can't wait.
Is this the trick or treat match that someone was talking about?
I wanted to think all these matches were trick or treat matches.
Like, I don't know that I necessarily need to see Danny Garcia in costume, but I definitely want Wheeler Yuta trick or treating.
Well, what would be a good costume for Wheeler Yuta?
I don't want to be mean. I like Yuta. We're buddies.
You can preface it by saying this is a joke, Wheeler.
No.
Okay.
Nah, he's a good dude.
People have been comparing him to Cousin It. You could do that.
Cousin It. That's all right. Well, you just did. So you can have heat with Wheeler. I'm good.
I have no hair, so he can make fun of me all at once.
Wow, that was yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Kellum just said, "Oh no, the Simpsons movie was pretty damn good." I
Yeah.
don't even know what that had to do with anything, but
He's
sure,
probably watching it on delay. I bet he paused us.
it's very possible. But the Simpsons movie was a weird anomaly 'cause they brought back a lot of the old writers,
Yeah,
so
the movie,
that helped. It's that's why they got to bring back Russo,
bro.
and then all of a sudden we're going to get some real pearls of wisdom on Raw.
Absolutely, I'm all for that.
We haven't had a porta potty drop from the ceiling in a while.
Or fake blood. I guess we've had fake blood.
There's been lots of fake blood. There's been lots of real blood. There's been some bad blood, and we'll talk about the bad blood, what happened on Dynamite tomorrow, because we'll be back, as we are every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern on a plethora of platforms, including she's doing hand gestures, including the WW Creative _ISHX account, the at Dominic D'Angelo X account, the at SE Scoops X account, and on YouTube on the Podcast Heat, ad-free shows, and Rumor and Innuendo YouTube channels. Our first week on the Podcast Heat world, so give him some love over there if you're not, and give some love to Dom, who apparently has only been invited to one shindig this weekend.
I got 2.
Okay, never mind. I give it up. I give up. Dom is the most sociable man. On behalf of the most sociable man in all of professional wrestling, Mr. Dominic D'Angelo, I'm Robert Karpos. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
Invite me to your party, and you will indeed have a party.